The history of the American Revolution. The American Revolution was a major historical event that took place between 1775 and 1783. It was a war in which 13 American colonies fought for independence from Great Britain. These colonies were located along the eastern coast of North America and were under British control. For many years, the roots of the conflict began after the French and Indian War. Britain won the war, but it also gained a huge amount of debt. To recover financially, the British government decided to impose new taxes on the American colonies. These included laws like the Stamp Act and the Townshend Acts, which required colonists to pay taxes on everyday items such as paper, tea, and glass. The colonists strongly opposed these taxes. They believed it was unfair because they had no representatives in the British Parliament. This idea became famous as no taxation without representation, because colonists felt their rights were being violated as British citizens. Tensions grew over time. In 1770, a violent event known as the Boston Massacre took place, where British soldiers fired into a crowd, killing several colonists. This event increased anger and distrust toward British rule. A few years later, in 1773, colonists protested against British taxes again during the Boston Tea Party. Disguised as Native Americans, a group of colonists boarded British ships and threw large amounts of tea into Boston Harbor. This act of rebellion shocked Britain and led to harsh punishments. In response, Britain passed the Intolerable Acts, which were strict laws meant to punish the colonies, especially Massachusetts. Instead of calming the situation, these laws united the colonies even more against British authority. In 1774, representatives from 12 colonies gathered in Philadelphia for the First Continental Congress. They discussed their grievances and planned how to respond to British actions. Although they still hoped for peace, they began preparing for possible conflict. The situation finally turned into open war in April 1775 at the battles of Lexington and Concord. These were the first military engagements between colonial militias and British troops. The American Revolution had officially begun. One of the key figures to emerge during this time was George Washington, who was appointed as the commander of the Continental Army. Despite facing many challenges, including lack of supplies and training, Washington played a crucial role in leading the colonial forces. By this point, many colonists had shifted from seeking fairness within the British Empire to demanding complete independence. As the war continued, the desire for full independence grew stronger among the colonists. On July 4, 1776, the colonies officially declared independence by adopting the Declaration of Independence. This important document was mainly written by Thomas Jefferson and explained why the colonies wanted to break free from British rule. It stated that all men are created equal and have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The war that followed was long and difficult. The Continental Army, led by George Washington, faced many challenges such as limited resources, lack of proper training, and harsh weather conditions. Despite these difficulties, the American forces showed determination and resilience. One of the most important turning points in the war was the Battle of Saratoga in 1777. The American victory convinced France to support the colonies. France provided military aid, supplies, and troops, which greatly strengthened the American cause. Another crucial moment came during the harsh winter at Valley Forge. Soldiers suffered from cold, hunger, and disease. However, under Washington's leadership and with the help of Baron von Steuben, the army became more disciplined and better trained. As the war progressed, fighting spread across different regions. The British initially had advantages, including a strong navy and a well-trained army. However, the Americans used their knowledge of the land and support from local populations to their benefit. The final major battle of the war took place at the Battle of Yorktown in 1781. American and French forces surrounded the British army led by General Cornwallis. With no way to escape, the British were forced to surrender. This victory effectively ended the fighting. In 1783, the war officially ended with the signing of the Treaty of Paris. Britain recognized the independence of the United States, marking the birth of a new nation. The American Revolution had a lasting impact not only on the United States but also on the world. It inspired other nations and movements to fight for freedom and democratic rights. It also led to the creation of a government based on the principles of liberty, equality, and representation. In conclusion, the American Revolution was a powerful struggle for independence that changed history forever. It showed that people could unite and fight for their rights, ultimately shaping the future of modern democracy.